Guys, welcome to today's podcast with Nomadic Closer House. This is a very special edition. Today we're interviewing 7 of the Nomadic Closer members that have come down to Medellín to truly transform their life. So today we sat here with Bartek. Bartek hasn't been a closer for too long. In fact, he wanted to completely change his life and go above and beyond to make a difference in his life. So Bartek, welcome, bro. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having all of us.
I love it, man. I love it. What brings you to Medellín? What brings you to Nomadic Closer House? Because
What brings me here?
the thing is, first of all, coming to, Colombia, sometimes it can be a little bit scary. I mean, I remember my mum saying, Joel, you're going to Colombia? Like, you're not going to survive, right? People don't know how safe it is here and how much you can do here, right? But that aside, like, what actually made you want to go to the Nomadic Closer House and become a member?
Well, the Nomadic Closer House just seemed like a very different experience than what most people have. So that you talked about, like, closer, they just sit in their room, like in a box, and just work and don't really network. And for me, that wasn't really an issue because I haven't been in the space very long. But I thought this is a perfect opportunity to meet people when I'm still early in my journey and really get out there and experience that nomadic lifestyle for a bit. So it just seemed kind of like a no-brainer to do. And
Do you know what I love about you? Like, when we first jumped on a call, you had no doubts that you wanted to jump in. We spoke to quite a few people. They're on the edge. Yeah, I don't know. Nomadic Closer House. Will I have time to work? Will I be able to find the balance? Do I want to get out of my comfort zone? You straight away, you're like, yep, I've seen the videos. I like what I see. I want to get in.
yeah.
But what was it that sparked your interest?
What was it exactly? Let me think back. 2 months ago.
Oh, I remember you was wearing a Batman cape at the time.
Yeah, because
were you trying to like tease us and dress up as fancy dress or what?
Yeah, I'm secretly Bruce Wayne.
Bro, this is live, by the way. Can't say that.
It's okay, we'll edit it out. But yeah, I was actually sick then, so that's why I had my cape, my blanket on, just
And your tea in your hand.
my tea. Oh, I always have.
He's always got a fucking tea in his hand.
Yeah, I was probably swapped at birth with some with a different family because I'm probably British instead of
100%.
yeah, not Polish. But so what was going through my mind then? Well, one thing was what you said, Medellín, like people have this idea that's very dangerous, a lot of negative stigma about it. And I definitely thought that. And I did a lot of research, watching a lot of YouTube videos, seeing like what things to do, what not to do, where to go. And as soon as I came here, all of that just went out the window. Like it's just super safe, super, how to put it, yeah, really relaxing environment. Obviously, if you go to different areas, like sketchy areas, something can happen, but it's definitely not what people think or what I thought.
100%, no, 100%. Especially in the house, we've got a guy staring at us now. Our security is standing there with a gun, armed guard from the sides.
Yeah, super safe, like good area. Plus, we have security here all the time, so nothing, no like negative thoughts come to my mind.
Nice. I want to talk to you about your groups of friends back home, right? Because everyone that hasn't gone traveling, hasn't really escaped their environment. They've always got this small little circle of friends that maybe they met in high school, college, university, and like that's your friend.
Yeah.
Has that always been the case for you? Have you always had the same kind of friends?
Yeah. So most of my friends I've known since I was like 4, 5 years old, and then high school got a couple more, and then college a couple more. So we're a pretty tight knit community, tight knit group of friends, and I am kind of the first one who's doing this entrepreneurial journey.
Do they understand it?
Not.
Do they support you?
They support me. They don't fully understand it yet. Some of them have asked me, "Is this like some pyramid scheme that you joined?" Or like, I haven't really explained it in too much detail to them, just because it's still very new to me, and I'm still like getting the hang of everything.
Yeah.
But some of them, or all of them, are still very supportive. They're like,
Mm.
Yeah, like going to Colombia, networking, like meeting new people, doing new experiences. So they're still supportive of that. They don't fully understand like the whole sales stuff,
Yeah.
online sales, but
So
still
you're
supportive.
quite lucky there, because what happened with me when I first started buying courses, I remember I started massively investing into courses during COVID when I lost
Mhm.
my business, massively in debt, had to go into more debt to
Yeah.
actually buy these courses. And my friends and family, they were turning around, they were saying to me, Joel, what are you doing? Like, why are you wasting your money? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And every time I'm telling them that I'm buying a new course, I'm growing, I'm making money online, they're like, I don't I don't think you should do this. And I kind of had to separate myself away from this like negativity. I understand they wanted the best. So
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Like, I understand that they're there fully supporting me. But at the same time, because they're not understanding my vision and where I wanted to go, every time I was with them, they started giving me like these negative thoughts, thinking, oh, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? So unfortunately, once I, had to put them to the side, I focused on exactly what I wanted to do. I was hanging around with a lot more people virtually and luckily face to face, because there was a little loophole, which I'll explain a little bit later. I was like, they don't understand me. I'm not going to tell them what I'm doing because they're just not going to understand. And now they're coming to me, they're like, oh, Joel, I want to buy one of your courses. I want to become part of, Nomadic Closer. How can you teach me? How can I get involved? How can I travel, make money? So sometimes you do need to kind of separate yourself with the group of friends that you have if they don't support you. So like, again, having that group of friends that do support you, it's powerful,
Yeah.
right? So now that you've come to the Nomadic Closer House, we've done stupid amounts of activities, right? I think one of the questions you had as well was, are we going to have time to work?
Mhm.
So tell me, have you had time to work?
Yeah. So we've all had time to work. Definitely, if anyone's thinking about doing this in the future, you may not always have time to work till like those 8, 9, 10 o'clock times because we have activities going on in the evenings. It's in the weekends, like there's always something going on. So
You're
there's
still
still,
getting a solid 8 hours minimum.
yeah, yeah. So we wake up early to go to the gym, and after that, the rest of the day is yours until 6, 7 o'clock, depending on what's going on. So there's still good time to work.
I love that. Exactly. Because that was one of the biggest questions. Like, but dude, are we going to be working? Yes, you're going to be coming here. You're going to be working hard,
Yeah.
right? But what's been like the favorite activity or favorite thing that just stands out? It could be any. It could be the activity. It could be the brotherhood that you've just created. Like, what's the number one thing?
It's hard to put it, like choose one thing.
You can choose to. Go on, give
Yeah.
me that.
So hmm, the hike that we had in the mountains.
Why? What happened on the hike?
Are we allowed to go into that?
Well, of course you can.
Yeah.
There's
So
it's when we upload this onto YouTube, no kids allowed. So don't worry.
okay, okay. So yeah, not all of us were able to go on this hike, but because people were working, but we took some shrooms and went on a hike, and it's really hard to put into words. It was an amazing experience spiritually, but also just the experience itself. Like uh, the owner of Kin, well, I can say this, but the owner
Yes,
of
you can.
Kin uh, let us go to his villa, like outside the city, gated community, beautiful property there.
Unbelievable, like
Yeah,
paradise.
yeah, like
In the middle
paradise.
of the mountains, everything was just there was flowing rivers through the house.
Yeah,
There was like house trees, greenery. The scenery was insane.
yeah. There's like a net tied between the trees, so you could just lay down there and like
Oh,
look at the sky.
so
Yeah, it was literally like a tropical paradise. Even like being on shrooms just kind of elevated that. It was perfect for that.
but what was your big takeaway from that hike?
From that hike, a few takeaways. Let's see if I can remember them. But the universe,
Is your family going to be watching this? Do they know you take shrooms?
my brothers know. My parents, I think I've told them,
I'm only messing.
but it's all good. With everything you can do it properly to help you for your benefit versus your detriment. But one of my takeaways was the universe. If you look for it and you look for the opportunity, the universe is there to give you. Whether that's physical things or knowledge, spiritual knowledge, energy. the universe is there to give. You just have to be open to receiving and open to giving yourself. So that was one thing that really stuck to me that I came to realize.
Talk to me about giving. What do you mean?
So this ties into the charity day that we did and giving to people. So we were giving them food, water, some clothing, and that's actually something I want to try back home in Canada. Another charity day there too, because here it's not like a super like fun thing, like fun activity, but it's something that feels good to do, and it's not like it was hard work because it was hot and just you have to go quick, but it wasn't like working some like minimum wage job or annoying. It was like
What was the try and describe the experience? So, like for those who are listening, we did a charity day the other day, right? And it's tough. We went and we served the homeless. A lot of them, most of them were on drugs. There was over 600 people that turned up, and we're going through stages where we're stuck in the heat, we're hungry, maybe we have a headache. Some people are being aggressive, right? But it's not about us. Right?
yeah,
We got to be selfless. But it's a mental challenge, isn't it? It's like it's a reminder we're there to be in service to others. But yeah, if you can kind of go into that into the feeling that you had going through it, and again, why do you want to start continuing charity work when you go back home?
So one reason I want to continue is because here I couldn't really connect and talk to the people. Obviously, language barrier. I don't know Spanish, so all I could really say was just "Hola, amigo, gracias," uh, things like that, and I couldn't really converse with them. So that's something I want to try back home, like helping people out and just like you said, hearing their stories,
Why though?
to be able to connect with them and understand like either their story or where they are now. And so before coming here, I mentioned this to you already. I think the first or second like video I've seen of you and Adam was you guys were on a podcast together, and you mentioned closers. Like, have you ever done any charity work, and why? So, if you want to help people on calls, like, but have you ever helped people in real life and really out of your like expecting nothing in return, you spending your own time to go and help people and like learning something from that. So that's something that stuck to me that when I saw that video, and then that really made me was one of the reasons I wanted to come here, just to talk to you guys more and do this charity work. And now I want to try back home as well, and even like do it with my friends because
Just give me goosebumps.
yeah,
I love it.
it's but the feeling when doing that, it's not something that's like at least doing it one time. It's not something that like changed my life, but I want to explore it more and see like what else I can do with that, and maybe over time, uh, I'm gonna come to some bigger realization, something that will help me spiritually down the line. And
Amazing.
yeah, I just want to do it again.
I love that. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Spread the love, be in service to others.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling.
hmm
So like now that you've been in the house, it's the last day. You've had an amazing 30-day experience. Talk to me about the connections you've had with the boys, because obviously going into a house, not knowing anyone, never meeting them face to face, it can be like, oh God, I've got to spend 7 days with random people, plus Joel, Adam, and Harlan. Like, damn, what's going to happen? But like, talk to me about your experience with the boys.
So coming into it, I wasn't really worried about getting along with them because I generally just get along with people well. And I did manage to meet up with Kenny before coming here, just because we're both from Toronto. Ali is also from Toronto, but he was busy when we were trying to meet up.
Yeah.
So, but we got along well. And then you guys did a great job of picking people here. We all just instantly bonded. Connection was there, and then over time it just grew, and we're brothers now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
We're all on the same path.
Mm.
We're all in different stages, but we're all on the same path, same we have like minds. We all want similar things in life, and we all just get along. Like, who knows? Maybe down the line there were future houses. I hope that doesn't happen, but maybe might be some quarrels, some beef, whatever. But we didn't really have any of that. We all,
Zero.
yeah, a few miscommunications over some food, but it's so minor.
So it's about food, right?
Yeah.
Who took my food? Well, did someone steal your vegan food?
Some of my mangoes went missing, but we figured it out. It's all good.
Do you know who it was? Are you gonna tell the crowd?
No, it's a secret. No, we worked it out. It's all good. Like,
Did they buy more mangoes?
yeah. But it's okay. It's like so cheap. Like mangoes, some of my bananas were missing, but it's whatever. It's so cheap.
Exactly.
Give me, right?
I love that. Nice.
Like sometimes we pay, like you pay for something, next time somebody else will pay for something. It's all big circle.
Love that. So let's talk about some of the activities.
Yeah.
Because we had some crazy activities for you. Again, like we wanted to provide the best experience for you. And I remember when we was coming up with the ideas, it was me and Adam sitting there, had a massive board. We're like, let's throw some crazy ass ideas on this board. What do we want to do? And it was kind of like what we want to do, not what you want to do. It's like, okay, we want to do hiking, we want to go helicopter ride, wakeboarding, ATVs, and all of a sudden we're throwing all this stuff on the wall. And we're looking at it, we're like, fuck, that's a lot of stuff. That is a lot of stuff. We're like, okay, now we have to remove stuff. Adam looked at me, he was like, do we? I was like, fuck it, let's just leave it all. Let's just do it all for them. So every weekend you have different activities. There was masterminds, there was networking meetings, meetups. You also got out of your comfort zone and you stood on stage and spoke in front of 50 people.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So
Was it your first time speaking?
that was my first time speaking in front of people. I've done like small things here and there, like church related stuff, but like very small. So this is my first real public speaking event where I had to speak from like myself and my heart. And
Did you have anything planned?
so the first week I signed up the day before, but I didn't know there was a separate sign up to actually speak on stage.
Right.
So Dan came over, Dan Lawson, who organizes Give It All here in Medellín. He came over, he recognized my name. He's like, oh, you signed up to come. So I thought he was going to bring me on stage. So the next day when we were at the event, I was sitting in the crowd kind of nervous. I already had an idea of what to talk about, but I was waiting for him to like call me up on stage, and I was just waiting, and then
It didn't happen.
it didn't happen. And I was like kind of like a sigh of relief, but I was like,
Arms sweating, shaking. Oh, when's he going to call me?
yeah. So it was like a bit of a sigh of relief, but also like, fuck, now I have to wait again, like next time. And then I realized, where Dan said there's a separate sign up. So
Right.
then I had the struggle of, I had my story and I heard other people talking on stage. They all had like a deeper message, something to share, something to like a piece of knowledge to give for the benefit of the crowd. And I didn't really know what my message would be. My story, but I didn't have a message. So the next week came along and I still wasn't ready to talk. But Dan came up to me saying, hey, like we have an extra slot here. Do you want to talk? And I thought for a second, I was like, shit, like I do, but I don't have a message. Like the speeches of other people that were there the week before, they were great. Amazing speeches, amazing people. And then me, I was just kind of, I didn't think my story was on that level. But Dan came up to me anyways. He's like, hey, you want to talk? There's a spot for you. I thought about it for maybe a minute, maybe less. And I said, fuck it.
Let's go. Give it all.
Yeah, give it all. Because I had the story, and then at the end, I kind of came up with a message. And the message was get out of your comfort zone, try new things. And so then just say, fuck it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think you've done an amazing job. Looking back, especially watching the videos as well, getting on stage and speaking in front of 50 people that you don't know and have no plan on what you're going to be speaking about, it's scary, right?
Yeah.
But now looking back at what you did, first of all, I'm proud of you, and I'm sure you're very proud of yourself as well.
Yeah.
What would you have wanted to fix now that you've watched the videos back? Like, what could you have done better?
For my speech, well, it was obviously my first real public speaking experience.
Lost your virginity on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah,
In front of
stage.
people. Dirty bastard.
It was worth it. So that's also one thing that I want to try again, like in Toronto or somewhere else, just do more public speaking. So I was definitely a bit nervous, but 90% of that nervousness went away as soon as I got on stage.
It does.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's kind of like there's a massive blackout. All of a sudden, you're really nervous. You jump on stage. You walk off stage. You're like, what the fuck did I talk about?
Yeah.
You know?
So what Dan was telling me before, like if you pretend like you're talking to your friends and you talk about something you're passionate about, you don't need a script, right? You're just talking from the heart, from yourself, like something that you talk about with your friends anyways. So you kind of talk like that on stage to the crowd. That makes it a lot easier. So I think that's one thing that really made me less nervous, because I was talking about something that I love and sharing that story with the people. And it was a lot easier than I thought.
But what would you change? Like you've seen the videos, you've watched yourself back. It's like watching any kind of fight you've had in the past. It's like, oh, if I would have done that, it would have been so much better.
For me, I was kind of bobbing back and forth, like stepping like in one spot, just like talking. Obviously, my like nervous jitters.
I call that the hip hop, right? Because you're like you're hopping on your hips, so you're like hopping, you're kind of like that, or like you're swinging your legs. So
yeah. I wasn't swinging, but yeah, I was doing that hopping. And
hip hop.
With more experience, it'll go away. But it was just funny looking back and seeing myself do that. And I still do a lot of uhs and ums, so something I still have to work on. So I noticed that during my speech. And
do you do the same on calls?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Do you not review your calls?
I do. So yeah, I do. But
so what are you doing to fix that?
Speaking slower and pauses.
Good boy.
So it's always just a work in progress, and it'll probably never go away, but maybe that's a limiting belief.
With that mentality.
So yeah, it'll be a work in progress until who knows when.
There you go.
I don't think there's going to be a set moment. Okay, they're finally gone.
There you go. So you've gone over, you speaking on stage, the charity. What about any of the activities? What stood out for you?
Everything stood out. It's all the way.
So hard. The hiking.
The hike, that was like a trip in itself. Yeah. Literally. That could have been, actually gave me like this interesting business idea, like doing like shroom like trips, and then you come back after a hike and maybe it's massages.
Let's talk about that, because a lot of people look at psilocybin, they're like, oh my God, why are you doing it? Don't do it. Don't go near it. Everyone that I've spoken to, most, if not most of the most successful entrepreneurs I've met have done some type of psilocybin. Like myself included. I did ayahuasca. I've been on a plant medicine journey for the last 3 years. Some of the biggest realizations I've had is through ceremonies. Nomadic Closer came out of an idea I had through ayahuasca. Do you know what I mean? So like, I think a lot of people look at psilocybin in a negative way, but if you look at a lot of even what's his name, Luke Belmont, he talks about psilocybin and how creative he gets and how a lot of his ideas come from it. So I'm glad we touched on that, because a lot of people are probably thinking, oh well, I don't know what to do with my life, where to go. I'm not saying jump in and start taking drugs. I don't think psilocybin is drugs at all, but I think in a ceremony, when you are taking psilocybin, it does open you up to really appreciate life a lot more, to understand where you want to go, what you want to do. It's a work in progress. So for those who are maybe starting their entrepreneur journey or closer, and they're listening to this thinking, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, would you recommend it?
So it depends how you use it. And if you look at it as a drug obviously negative connotation can scare people off. But if you realize that it's a plant medicine, you view it as that plant medicine and used by people in South America and I think Asia too, all around the world. It's been used for centuries, millennia. So there's more to it than just a drug. And I've done it before without much like intention for spiritual realization or anything productive like that. More so for fun. And I've personally never had a bad experience with it. See, you can find stories where people do have bad experiences. And one thing is doing it with people who are experienced or people who have good energy, people you vibe with. That's a really big thing. And I'm sure there's successful people, entrepreneurs who haven't done shrooms, but there are those who have done it and attribute a lot of their success to that. So that there is something there. And I'll tell people to just have an open mind. Don't do it just because everyone is doing it. Do it with
Controlled environment.
With some intention. And I've had like both times that we did it here, I was thinking of like I had like business like ideas coming to my mind, which I haven't had before. Is all just like,
Are you journaling? Are you writing things down?
Yeah. So I have a little document of my business ideas.
Amazing.
And so the sound healing was the other time we took the shrooms, and with some forms of meditation, probably sound healing, you want to be present and just focus on, you don't want your mind flying off. And with me, I realized that shrooms, my mind always runs off, thinking about things, wanting to tell people what I was thinking about, and then thinking about telling them that I was thinking about telling them, stuff like that. So when we were doing that, I just had more like business ideas coming into my mind.
Downloads of information.
Yeah. So like now I have this idea of potentially microdosing here and there back home, something that I still want to think about. But aside from like business ideas coming in during the sound healing itself was just amazing. Very relaxing, just full of joy and happiness. That was one of my highlights here. And I had a really good day going into the sound healing. So I wonder how it would be for somebody who was like day working or just had bad energy that day. But for me, I was on a very good note, and then that just boosted me even higher. So we came out of that just
Love it.
full of joy, peace, happiness, big smiles. When they were ringing those forks or whatever instruments, they put it near me, my mouth just, my muscle just tensed up, and I was just like forcefully smiling.
Love that.
Way like good way. Yeah.
I love it, brother. I'm so happy that you've come into the house and truly have been shining all the way through. There's an activity that we did before you guys came into the house, which was the Wheel of Life, figuring out where you were. And then today is obviously the last day. Tonight, we're going to do the Wheel of Life again to see how far you've grown in just a short period of time. How do you think you've had a lot of growth in just a month of being here?
I think so.
In what way?
Yeah. So we had a few chats with Dan Lawson. He came here, and even just talking with him other times. So one thing I need to work myself is loving myself and not being too hard on myself. And that also came up during the sound healing. Like the lady, she was talking about similar things like that, and be gentle with yourself, love yourself. Dan Lawson talks about acknowledging yourselves for the good things you did that do further yourself and your goals, to work for yourself. So
I think a lot of times we go through life without even realizing that. I can speak to my parents and my grandparents, and I'll talk about, self-love, self-acknowledgement. They look at me like, what are you talking about? So for you to be, such a young man and already realize, do you need to give yourself these small little wins and gratitude and love yourself? It's huge. I think that's a massive win for you. Huge. But now this is the season 001. It's the first season of Nomadic Closer House. Would you recommend Nomadic Closer House to people thinking about coming? And if so, why?
I would definitely recommend it for networking. And it's not all just about business and sales and closing. It's much more well-rounded mindset, goal setting, uh, getting in touch with your emotions, the wheel of life, just a lot of things there. Talking about relationships, how they can affect your business life. So it's much more like view opening or world opening. I don't know how to say it. You'll be exposed to a lot more than just sales. Because what you guys said is 5-10 years. Like, do you still want to be doing sales? If you do, sure. But there's other business opportunities, possible business ventures. The world might change by then. AI, so it opens you up to a lot more. And yeah, that's one big reason I'd recommend people to come,
I love it.
or wherever the next one is.
There we go. We'll be releasing that soon, for sure.
Yeah.
And we also did our first Nomadic Closer Mastermind.
Mhm.
We had 5 different speakers. What was your favorite?
Yeah, no, I'm very bad at choosing favorites, but your speech or your presentation on networking is a really important one. They're all very important in different ways, but networking, classic saying, your network is your net worth, or is it the other way around? Your net worth is your net.
Your network.
Yeah, yeah. So you were talking about how to network and people, even like getting all their information, remembering who has what issues, and then down the line, if you meet somebody who could solve those problems, you connect them. And always having a drink in your hand if you ever want to get out of a conversation.
Exactly. I mean, for those who want to kind of see the actual presentation, I've just put it on YouTube.
I saw that.
So if anyone's watching this, if anyone wants to actually see that, I've literally put the whole networking speech that I did on YouTube. It's about 43 minutes. Definitely go and watch it because it can completely change your life. Anyway, my man, I really appreciate you doing this. I really appreciate you being here, sharing your energy, your knowledge. The connections you've had with the boys have been absolutely amazing. And I'm super proud and inspired of just being here and seeing you change day in day and having these massive realizations. So I feel very proud of you and everything that we've done. So
Very grateful as well.
I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in here. Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
Cheers.